Welcome to India Avenue's Harnessing India podcast series. Today we're in podcast number 4, where we decode India's growth story through active investing. In doing that, we spotlight the top 10 holdings of the India Avenue Equity Fund, each reflecting a powerful macro theme driving India's transformation. Firstly, let's talk about financial deepening and credit penetration. In this theme, we have 5 companies in our top 10, 3 of which are large banks, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and Axis Bank, and 2 of which are non-bank finance companies, Shriram Finance and Bajaj Finance. Overall, India's credit to GDP ratio remains below 60% compared to over 100% in developed markets. This highlights long-term headroom for growth in credit and increasing penetration. From a digital banking perspective, the number of person-to-person transactions since commencement of UPI transactions, as they're called, is now over 18.5 trillion. That is up 42% from where it was a year ago, signaling large but also continued rapid digitization. Non-bank financial companies are also experiencing significant growth in non-bank credit, with the level up 18% from a year ago. There's a strong traction in consumer and SME lending. Secondly, let's talk about digital infrastructure and connectivity. The stock we have in this theme is Bharti Airtel. When we look at India's mobile data consumption per user, it's the highest globally, averaging 20 gigabytes per month. Over 200 cities now have 5G coverage, and rural expansion is also underway. The digital economy is expected to reach $1 trillion by 2030, driven by telecom, fintech, and e-commerce. So Bharti Airtel is in a great position to benefit as India's leading telecom provider. Thirdly, let's move on to tech services and global integration of this. A stock we have in that theme is HCL Technologies. From a macro perspective, India's IT exports are over 250 billion US in FY25, growing at 11% annualized. Global demand for cloud and AI services are driving double-digit growth in enterprise tech spending, and India's talent pool of over 1.5 million engineering graduates annually is fueling global tech delivery. Fourthly, let's move on to health and pharma export leadership. Aurobindo Pharma is in our top 10. India is the world's largest supplier of generic medicines, exporting over to 200 countries. The US market receives 40% of its generics from India, with FDA approvals rising steadily, allowing for greater capacity for Indian firms to export to the US. Domestic demand is also growing rapidly, with India's pharma market expected to reach US 130 billion by 2030. Fifthly, let's talk about mobility and aspirational travel. The stock we have playing this theme is Interglobe Aviation, or commonly known as the brand Indigo. From a macro perspective, India is now the world's third largest domestic aviation market globally. From a passenger growth perspective, domestic air traffic grew 22% year on year in FY25, with Tier 2 and 3 cities largely driving the demand. From an infrastructure perspective, 21 new airports are under development, supporting long-term capacity expansion. India already has well over 100 airports. And finally, tech-enabled supply chain and distribution. From a macro perspective, India's electronics market is projected to reach US 400 billion by 2030. Hardware demand is rising, signaled by PC and server shipments rising 14% year on year in FY25, largely driven by enterprise digitization. GST and e-way bills have streamlined logistics and boosting efficiency, which is also helping supply chain digitization. The company we have in our top 10 that's playing this theme is named Reddington India. And finally, to summarize, these 10 holdings aren't just financial assets, they're thematic expressions of India's macro evolution. From credit to connectivity, pharma to aviation, the India Avenue Equity Fund captures the growth of a nation in one fund. Thanks for tuning in. For deeper insights, visit our website, indiaavenue.com.au. Until next time, keep investing in the story that's still being written. Thank you.